back, Better Investors, to the BI Breakdown. And today I have with me Jonah, one of two of the Banking Bros and my partners here at the Cash Compound. So I'm super excited to be interviewing him and bringing his content to you. So thank you, Jonah, for being on.
You're welcome. Now, before we jump into it, you know that the Banking, that was my call, the Banking Bros. So I'm the original. I guess I got to be the original.
It was savvy, so I figured
I appreciate it.
You're very organizational, and Jeremiah's like that personality type. So I can see it being possible. So what about Cash Compound?
That was him. He came up with that name and the branding behind it. But Banking Bros, that was all me, man.
Okay, I like that. And it was smooth too. It was smooth. Man. Well, that's a good start.
Okay.
What made you want to take it from not just, or which one came first, the Banking Bros or the Cash Compound?
Cash Compound came first.
Got it.
All right. So that our platform started as a collection of educational videos.
Okay.
Wasn't behind a paywall, wasn't behind a subscription or anything like that. We literally had them. I don't even remember what site we're using, but we literally just had a collection of videos.
Got it.
That we were offering. And that really transformed. So the Banking Bros didn't really come around until we were ready to be, YouTube stars and TikTok stars and Instagram stars, right? So that's just the pseudonym for the fun stuff that we do online. But the Cash Compound's always kind of been our bread and butter.
Which took off really, really fast. In terms of I was surprised just with me being around kind of in the earlier stages. I was surprised to see how fast it took on and how many people were interactive with us. So that's been super exciting.
Yeah, man.
I'm definitely appreciative and happy to be a part of the journey with you guys. Give me a little bit about the differences between the two. I know you were saying with the Cash Compound being the educational side of things. If I went to the cashcompound.com, what am I going to see? What am I going to learn?
I love it. So the Cash Compound is still our educational platform currently. Okay. So we have course subscriptions now, different levels, bronze, silver, gold. They offer different things inside of those course subscriptions. Inside there, we're teaching general finance. We're teaching what we like to specialize in, which is the infinite banking concept. We teach that really primarily in those subscriptions. So that's what you're going to find on the cashcompound.com. Now on the Banking Bros, again, that's really just our social media persona. Now we do have a site. We do have a website, bankingbros.com. But really you're going to go there if you're trying to book us to speak at an event or to, to interact with us on socials, figure out what socials we're actually on or tune into the podcast or something like that.
And so I know you said you got the bronze, the silver, and the gold. I know Jeremiah was talking to me about potentially talking to some people about trading and investing inside of the gold subscription. So I'm super excited about that and helping people out. And then kind of combining that with infinite banking in terms of how you can utilize your cash value and do different things. So I know, of course, obviously you're doing infinite banking in your personal life and you're a practitioner of it. What are some more recent things that you've done with your cash value?
I love it. So realistically, when I tell you I embody infinite banking, I really do. I do so much with my banking policies. I do everything with my banking policies. I'm actually, one of the things we were just chatting about, I'm coming out with a series about all the ways that we use infinite banking in our kids' lives. So I'll tell you one of those because it recently just happened. So I've got a 5-year-old little boy. All right.
Got it.
Now he's got to go to K-5 this year. Okay. Where we want to send him to a specific school. And so this specific school has a cost associated to it. Okay.
Private school?
Private school. So instead of public school free and all that, there's a cost, right? Now, in my house, the way that we operate, if there's a cost associated with the kids, then the kids have to pay for it. Okay. So
like your house.
There we go. So the kids are on payroll. Kids are on payroll. They make their own money. There's all sorts of tasks that they do, right? There's the little tasks, pick up the dog, stuff in the backyard, right? And take out the trash cans. Easy stuff because he's 5, right? But he also does a little bit of business work with us as well. He stars in a few videos. We do some other things on the side. He helps in those areas. And I can name more things, but because of that, he's on payroll. Because he's on payroll, he gets paychecks. You follow me? Because he has paychecks. Well, when we wanted to start an infinite banking policy, we used his money to start his infinite banking policy. So that also means when he has stuff he wants to buy or that we have to pay for him, like tuition, well, that's got to come out of his money. Does this make sense?
Got it.
So what we're going to be doing, actually, it hadn't happened yet. It's about to happen, so I'm just telling you about it. But we're about to take a loan from his infinite banking policy. Okay. We're going to use that to pay the tuition. You got to pay him, right? Mm-hmm. All right. And then we're going to use his income to pay back the loan. Does that make sense? And that's all the things that we teach when we teach you infinite banking. It's the same process, except, of course, you get to do it instead of my 5-year-old, right? So we do stuff like that all the time. My son is begging me for the new Zelda game on the Nintendo Switch, begging me every day.
The Nintendo Switch, for me, it was the Nintendo 64.
Oh, I'm with you. Me too.
But the Nintendo Switch is like,
but it's that new generation. It's that Gen Z, I think. Okay, they got the Switch. He's begging me for this Nintendo game. I'm not going to spend my money to get this Nintendo game. I have to instill in him, and I have to teach him the way that we earn money and what we spend it on and how we spend it. Right, and he's 5, so I get it, man. These are not humongous purchases. We're not buying cars and houses with his policies, but I've got to teach him the principles about money. So we got to use his policies to get this stuff done.
Man, this is interesting to me, and I saw like Jeremiah's son. I want to say it's what's his son's name?
I think it was James.
James.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. It's all these J's, bro. I almost said Jonah.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, and what's crazy is I'm seeing, and I'm like, for them to be around this kind of an opportunity and get this kind of an experience, and more importantly, is just to have some financial education at a young age. What would you tell people at home, and how would you kind of stress the importance of financial education at a young age? And more importantly, is helping kids to understand the infinite banking concept or a family banking system.
I love it, man. So one of the things that you hear people say all the time, you're going to hear this on, if you're scrolling the socials, Facebooks, Twitters, right? You're going to hear this 10 times. Oh, they didn't teach us that in school. I learned more off Twitter and TikTok and Instagram than I learned in school. They didn't teach
University.
me. Yeah, the YouTube, right? They didn't teach me nothing I need to know, right? Yep. You hear that all the time. So as a parent, I think we've got a little bit of a responsibility to teach our kids all this stuff. We can't get on the internet saying, oh, they didn't teach me this, but then we've got dependents that we're not teaching. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So I think fiscal responsibility and financial responsibility and education is very important. In my house, it's very important, right? I teach my kids that we earn money by helping people. That's how we earn money. Okay, this is important to me. I know a lot of you out there are thinking, oh, you earn money because you do jobs. That's not what I teach my kids. We earn money by helping people. Okay. When we help people, that's how we get paid. When we get paid, it always, always, always goes into our family bank. This is important to me because, again, the analogy that I like to use, I use it over and over and over, man, is just, well, I mean, I started working. My first job was like 15 years old when I started working. I was mowing grass. All right. Me and Jeremiah used to actually have a lawn business. Ask him about it. We had this green pickup truck. It was a terrible summer. Okay. Anyway, I started mowing grass. So you got to think about how much money you make in mowing grass, man. $20, $30 a lawn. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I remember I was doing landscaping too. That was like my first business as well. And I was doing all right.
Sure.
I was doing all right. But yeah, I know what you mean. You out there busting it.
Yeah. Like, you see what I'm saying? Okay. So I made that all summer, right? So let's call it $3, $4, $5 in the summer. I don't know.
Got it.
Now I went to work at a grocery store. Okay. So I had those paychecks for a few years. I went to work at a bank. I went to work at a call office. I went to work at an insurance company. I did all these things. I went to work. So if you think about how much money that I've made as an adult from 15, 16, when I started working until now, how much money is that? Millions of bucks. Add up all those paychecks, right? And the question that I ask people all the time is, well, if you've made $2 million, $3 million, $5 million since you've been working, why don't you have $2 million, $3 million, or $5 million? And the answer is because you spent it. Now, this is really important. I didn't say you wasted the money. I don't think I was wasting the money. Now, I've wasted some money before and bought some dumb stuff, right? But I didn't waste $3 million.
Yeah, so you can be responsible and still not end up with your money.
That's what I'm saying. And so what I teach my kids is when we make money, it stays with us.
Got it.
And by doing so, we use our bank, our family bank, as opposed to the third parties. That's really important. So that to me is like a big education piece. And again, my kids are little. My son's 5, my daughter's 2. I got a newborn. They're real little. So you got to teach them stuff that they can understand. So we're not diving into, you know what I mean? We're not talking foreign policy, and we're not talking a different transactional account. We're not doing all that yet. Yeah. But I got to teach them something. So we make money by helping people. And when we get money, it stays with us always. You see what I'm saying? So that's what we've started with in our house.
I love the idea, and I'm just sitting here thinking about the generational wealth aspect of it. And you always get the comparison. If you're somebody that's inside of you're building your financial education, you're going to probably see this somewhere along the lines, especially inside that book. What would the Rockefellers do? It compares the Vanderbilts to the Rockefellers and the methodology that they had and how they were able to continue their wealth over generations. I think it's really important what you're doing because your son, being the eldest, is going to be kind of the man of the house, so to speak, at some point in time. And given the event that something, eventually something will happen, right? We're all going to end the game at some point in time, is that he's going to remember all these concepts. And he's going to know for himself, his family, and as well as his younger siblings. Hey, look, this is how we need to do it because this is what Dad said.
This is how we earn money. This is how we apply money, right?
This is how they implemented the system so that we can continue to keep that going.
We're not trying to be broke no more, right?
Yeah,
we're trying to change it for generations and leave a legacy.
Let it end with us, right?
Yeah.
And our experiences and kind of like even for myself, I know that's a big driver for me. Infinite banking was not just about myself; it was about a community type feel. Yep. So I hope that more of my family members come on to get policies, and we can build out this banking system where, like, if you take your kids for an example, his sister, right. So if she wants to take a loan and she doesn't have enough in her policy, she can ask her brother.
That's right.
Right?
Not third-party banks.
Exactly.
So keep it in the family.
Everything's staying within the family, and you're able to her transaction will make everybody else a little bit more wealthier.
That's exactly
His transaction will make everybody else a little bit more wealthier, and I love that concept, man.
We got to keep the money. What Kanye West say? We trying to buy back our 40 acres, right?
Yeah. You see, Kanye went and signed that deal again.
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he back with Adidas.
All right.
But yeah, man. But he was asking, and that's the Ye. That's the old Kanye. Though.
Okay.
That's well, I guess he Ye now, but he used to be Kanye. Okay.
Yeah, that's it.
But yeah, I know what you're talking about, dude, and it makes perfect sense. And I like to quote the Jay-Z had, which is not really his quote, but you know, he put in the lyrical form in being that the price of everything, but the value of nothing.
Yep.
So I've read that in several different books and so on, and I think that's really, really important for people to understand is that when we look at stuff, sometimes we just look at the cost of it.
Yep.
Right. So, it's going to cost me this much to get a policy, or this is the price or whatever it is. But what is the actual cost? What is it really costing you that you're putting off your financial independence?
That's right.
And or even more so is that, let's say you have life insurance or you have some kind of protection over your life. I'll call it death insurance.
Sure.
Because if you can't use it while you're alive, dead people don't need money. It's death insurance. You're insuring your death.
Yep.
But what's the opportunity cost of your children never seeing you have any significant amount of money? They don't see your relationship with money. Therefore, they don't have a good relationship with money. And then it kind of rinses and repeats itself. So that comes back into the generational aspect of what you were talking about.
It's very important, I think, for two reasons. One, to teach kids while they're young, right? I think, technically, I think it's called neuroplasticity, right? Kids' brains are more spongy. You can learn.
Like they can learn like 16 different languages.
Yeah, kids can learn so fast, right? So it's about teaching them while they're young. If you instill some principles, financial and fiscally responsible principles in them while they're young, wait until they're 10, 11, 15, 16, 20, right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's really important.
So much more ahead of us. And if you look at children now, even still, it's like it's almost like it's embedded in them, some of the things that we're doing, even though they haven't necessarily learned it. So I'll look at a younger child who's on an iPad and can navigate the iPad way better than grandma, who was here for the creation of the iPad, saw the evolution of the iPad, and she'll get on there and she's like, she can't figure it out.
Yeah.
But they can go straight to YouTube or whatever and pull up exactly what they want. They know exactly what they want to watch, how to get to it, and so on and so forth. So I definitely think that's really important. We're wearing something a little bit different today. I think I've only maybe wore the Cash Compound, maybe.
All right.
Or the Banking Bros, maybe one time on here.
Looking good, man.
Yeah, it's definitely looking good. I definitely shouted out the merch store before. So let people know a little bit more about. I know we have the merch store open, and it's people can purchase some things. So let them know a little bit more about the merch and how they can get it.
Yeah, so on our website, thecashcompound.com, there is a link at the top where you can go to cashcompound.com/store, I believe it is, and pick up shirts like we're wearing. So we've got a bunch of varieties out there. We've even got some, one of the things that we teach is called the 3-cup setup. So we've even got some 3 cups, and you can watch some of our videos on that. But all that's available for you. And I think we even got a promo code. Robert will get you one in the link of this video so you can get some discounts on that stuff if you want to rock what we're rocking.
Definitely. Links will be inside the description, guys. The 3-cup setup, that's a good segue. The 3-cup setup was huge. Groundbreaking, I would say. I've seen a lot of people try to explain what we do. We obviously, with the connection with the money multiplier, we see other viral and very active people in terms of being online and having that presence and drawing a lot of people towards them. And the way they explain it and kind of how I see it, I always look at it kind of like this when I'm online. I think that a lot of people learn from the Cash Compound or the Banking Bros, and whether or not they actually come through us is different. But I mean, pretty much a lot of people are getting educated in this way.
Yep.
Because I can see when I go to other channels and stuff like that, some of the knowledge that they have is translating over into when they go somewhere else and they're talking about some of the same things that they saw here. And I know that exactly, and I know they saw it here first.
Yeah, so you saw it here first.
Yeah, exactly, man.
Yep.
The 3-cup setup, and I've even seen another guy. He came into the live one time. I'm doing a live. He was like, "You guys took my setup." I'm like, "Dude, stop it."
We've had that for a while. Yeah, we've been doing trademark pending.
Yeah, it definitely do that. 3-cup setup is huge. I know that's what opened up infinite banking for me because I was still struggling with the concept of it not being my money.
Yep.
That I was taking out the policy. So I'm like, how does that make sense? It's my money, but it's not my money.
Yeah. So really, I mean, the idea was born because I was educating a lot of people. I was talking on the phone a lot, and I'm just realizing that people were asking the same questions over and over, right? If you're going to teach one specific thing to a group of people, when you field those questions, you're going to learn that the same type of situation confused most people, right? It's like an 80-20 rule. 80% were confused by this one thing, 20% were confused by everything else, right? And so understanding like whose money you're using and spending was one of the biggest things that people were confused about. And that's where really the 3-cup setup was born. Okay. So that's really what it is. And all the 3-cup setup is an easier to understand way with visual aids, how whole life insurance works actually like a bank and less like insurance than you think. Okay. But a lot of times I've got to relate it back to things that people understand and recognize. So for instance, I had someone call the other day and they say, Jonah, I need to know all the numbers about how this banking policy will work before we do any underwriting application, before we do any of that. Right.
That's their favorite thing. Right.
And so what I said to that person was, think about the last time you walked into your State Farm office to get car insurance. Can they actually tell you the exact price of that policy if you don't let them run your driving record?
Or the color of a car, how many miles, all this other stuff.
They can give you, okay, well, maybe it'll be $100, $200, but that's all they can tell. If they run your driving record and you've got a whole bunch of accidents and whatnot, doesn't that change everything?
Yeah, it's not going to be the same.
It does change everything.
You can drive the same exact car as me or somebody else, but it's not going to be the same. See what I'm saying?
And that's what I had to relate back to this person, right? They get either hooked on banking or they get hooked on the insurance and they have trouble putting them together. But it's easy if you have someone to walk you through it. And that's what really the coaches on our team are for. Like, when they call, let's walk them through it in a way that they understand. So that's what the 3-cup setup is. That's why it was born. Just explaining to people visually how whole life insurance actually works like a bank more than it does insurance, and we use 3 cups to set that up. But I'm with you. I've seen a couple people trying to steal from our cups on socials.
From what I saw, it doesn't make any sense.
Oh, definitely doesn't make any sense. I saw somebody add 2 more cups.
Yeah,
5 cups.
I've seen some stuff, dude.
It's not that many cups, man. Let me let you know.
Yeah, and even with what's crazy is I had somebody come into I might go live on the Cash Compound account.
Yep.
And where versus Jeremiah's going live on the Banking Bros account.
Yep.
I had somebody come in and get on me about it, but I liked it though. I was like, okay, good. Somebody out there defending our honor, right? It was like, oh no, you stealing this, man. This is not your thing, the 3-cup, and you added a 4th cup, so I know this ain't the right way to do it. But I had the little shot glass dividends, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I was like, no, chill out. We just added a little dividend in here.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you go to the page, you'll see
funny.
We're all associated.
That's funny. I seen somebody add a few cups. It didn't make any sense, but they're trying.
Yeah, man. I think so kind of like I have an interview coming up next week on the 20th, so just coming Tuesday with Curtis Ray.
All right, very good.
And that's the whole NPI method.
Specialist, right? Retirement.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, retirement. So I think I think kind of like how people view the world is based on what they're already looking for. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So when they come into infinite banking, most people say, oh, they're looking at an investment. Or they come into it and they have the ideology behind how they already operate in terms of qualified plans or whatever the case is. So how is this any different from our 401k or whatever the case is? And instead, I think that what infinite banking requires you to do is take a step back, release everything that you think you already know, unlearn and relearn, and more importantly, just focus on the power of your economic value, where you're driving that to, and how your dollars impact you beyond just once you've spent them.
Yep.
What are they doing now?
So realistically, it's one of my biggest pet peeves. And it's this question. You can ask almost anybody who's not seriously financially savvy. The question is, what are you doing to save for retirement? And most everybody who answers this question, who has a way that they're actually saving, almost everybody who answers this question will mention an investment vehicle, not a savings vehicle. They will say IRA, Roth or traditional, right? They will say 401k. They will say 403b. They will say set plan. They'll say a bunch of stuff that is not a savings vehicle. Those are investment vehicles. The reason, here's how you differentiate for all of you guys at home. Savings vehicles do not go down unless you make them go down.
Yeah, unless you take some kind of a withdrawal or something like that.
Investment vehicles can go down without you touching it.
Due to speculation.
In the market and market risk and all that stuff, right? That's the difference. So if I say, how are you saving for retirement? And you mention an investment vehicle, it's one of my biggest pet peeves. I already think that you think you know something that you don't know, because I just asked you a simple question and you gave me an opposite answer.
I have a good question. Is an IUL an investment vehicle or a savings vehicle?
That's a good question. In my opinion, an IUL, Index Universal Life Insurance Policy, is an investment vehicle.
Exactly.
It's tied to the market.
That's the same thing I thought as well.
It's tied to indices.
That's why I'm excited about my conversation with Curtis is because I wanted to cover some of the nuances in the ins and outs of that. And the one big thing that we both agree on is this is cash flow. What you do is retirement.
Yep.
So we have that very big differential there.
It's a big difference.
Like, you're not touching this for 30, 40 years versus here. We're going to buy them houses and them cars.
We're going to do all that while you guys were waiting, right?
We're going to go ahead and knock
the
that
thing
out
about
right
it, so, I mean, think about that question, though, that I'm asking. Think about, Robert, if I said, hey, Robert, how are you practicing for basketball right now? And you answered back, oh, I practice for soccer. And that's a valid answer. People think they did something.
Yeah, I mean, I have a lot of stamina, but I won't be too good at shooting the ball.
Yeah, that's not what I said. How are you saving for retirement? You gave me an investment vehicle. That is not what I asked you. Exactly. That is not. Exactly. But it's really a big misconception. A lot of people really think that they're doing something. It's like, no, you're investing for retirement. And I personally do not believe that if people really understood that they're taking a little bit of their paycheck every 2 weeks, putting in an investment vehicle, maybe contributing out of pocket to an IRA for a fingers crossed, I hope it works investment situation, that they'd actually be doing it. No. I think they really think it's saving and it's investing the whole time, and they would not be doing that if they realized.
You know how I phrase it to them? I say, would you take your whole entire check and put it in your 401k? No, I would never do that.
Right.
Well, that is your savings.
What about this? Would you tie your checking account to market volatility? No. Your checking account.
No, people exactly, and so people and when they start viewing it like that, I'm like, exactly. So that's why you need to be thinking about this in terms of a banking system.
Exactly.
Now, since down the roads of pet peeves, how many times have you heard, I'm going to research or I'm doing the research, but they haven't read the book?
I know.
The
biggest research is right here. We've got it sitting on the table because we go through it pretty often, and we highlight things and we look at this chapter, this paragraph. That is your research. Okay, that's where you get it from. Google is not a research engine; it's a search engine. So that's not research. You've got to do your research, and you can find this book on a bunch of places. Amazon's got it. You can go to our website if you want it, but that's your research on infinite banking if you're interested.
Yeah, and what I love about it the most is like R. Nelson Nash coining the terminology and trademarking infinite banking in itself. What I like about it is we didn't come up with infinite banking.
Yep.
We definitely didn't come up with whole life insurance. A lot older, double, triple our ages, right?
That's right.
So when a lot of people, they're saying they're doing the research. You're trying to research me. So you're taking me to trial or whatever. And Jeremiah said this one time, and I held on to it. He said, when you get people like that, insurance is not on trial. You're not on trial. We didn't create the infinite banking concept. Somewhere in there's an educational gap where they're not fully doing the due diligence on their end.
Yep.
And so therefore they try to put it off on you. A lot of people are offended by the idea, even the ideology behind being financially responsible and taking back, being, like I said, being responsible and taking back control of their wealth. They like the idea of when I make money's supposed to go somewhere into this little magical hiding place or something like that. And then it's just supposed to come back to me, times 10. But I'm not supposed to be. I'm not supposed to have to do anything. All I'm supposed to do is work my job. That's the only work I'm supposed to do for money.
Yeah.
And so it's crazy. But what would you say to somebody in terms of like the importance of having more control over your wealth and actually taking taking that responsibility and taking it upon yourself to be more active in your finances.
You stole my word, man. I was just going to say responsibility, right? You've got a responsibility. If you want to get out of the situation that you're in currently, if you want to better your life, your family's life, your extended family's life, if you want to leave a legacy to your children, then you've got a responsibility. That's as simple as it gets, right? You've got a responsibility to learn. You've got a responsibility to listen. You've got a responsibility to use discernment, right? For instance, I just gave you a great example. I said, how are you saving for retirement? I said, people answer with investment answers. You've got a responsibility for discernment. Figure out the difference if you don't know and pay attention, right? I've seen on Instagram, on TikToks, on the Twitters, one more pet peeve I got for you. This really bugs me. But it says, if you were to invest here, you would have this much. I hate that.
Oh, yeah.
Because that's not...
It doesn't... It's so many factors.
It's so many factors, but they preach it like it's truth.
Yeah.
This is not truth.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that these fiduciaries and the FDIC and whatnot is allowing these people to keep posting like that. That is not how finances work, right? But you get into this mindset that everything should be easy and I don't have to try and I don't have to learn and I don't have to listen and I don't have to use discernment because whoever or so said it. And so my 2 cents is you've got to take some responsibility. You want to better your life, your future, your finances. It's on you.
I think that's what I try to do is try to be in the fiduciary position that I'm in. I try to be very conscious and responsible for what I even say and put out because I feel like we need to hold ourselves accountable as well.
Yep.
And with that being said, I let people know there's winners and losers. I'm a day trader as well as a serial investor. In order for you to make money inside of the markets, somebody has to lose on the other end of that trade or somebody has to lose on the other end of that investment. You don't buy Bitcoin at $3,000, sell it at $50,000, and nobody bought it at $50,000.
Yeah.
Somebody bought it from you at $50,000. You sold at $50,000. You made a profit. Somebody else is going to have to hold that bag on the way back down.
Yep.
So that's really big in what you're saying is I think that now we have the mindset where everybody's magically going to win and this is going to work out fine for everybody. And I don't see how that's possible.
It's not possible.
If nobody's there to buy it. Like
Yep.
no, you can't pass the potato, you end up holding it. So yeah, man, like I said, I didn't want to hold you on too long. I appreciate just the time you came on. The value that you shared in this short amount of time. What's crazy is this is probably it seems like the quickest interview I ever did.
Well, you're welcome. Straight to the point.
Yeah, because it was like
straight facts.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
He got the bag and he just like he just pulling it.
And in the bag, like the fries were at the bottom. You know?
Yeah,
what I mean?
it's crazy. It's crazy. And so, man, like I said, I appreciate it, dude. I'm super happy, super excited for our future and where we're going. We will be number one, and you know what that means, man. Number one. So, always. Guys, I appreciate you for being here. Make sure you subscribe. When we get to 500 subscribers, remember that we are doing that $100 giveaway. So like, comment, share the video with some friends and some family.
Get you some money.
Yeah. And for, let us know what you're thinking out there. Let us know some content that you might want to see, what we can bring to you, some value. And beyond that, remember, better investments equals a better future. And we'll see you guys in the next one.